Hello, I'm not ready yet, but we'll start anyway. It's Bradshaw Live, and we are live. And I wasn't ready yet, Julian, but he just goes boom right to us. How are you, Yo-Yo and Vanessa? I guess I told Julian, the TriCaster guy, on my thumbs up.
Well, were your thumbs up?
No. Maybe I did my thumb to go onto the computer. Maybe it was like one of those. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Happy
New Year. Happy New Year.
We are here. And by the way, Julian, I don't know what happened. He's texting me, but it's okay. We're all good, Julian. It's the start of the new year. I miss you guys.
I miss you guys.
Started off with a bang.
How happy were you to see all of us, right? Even like Vanessa goes, wow, we're like real family here. We were laughing before the show started, right?
Seriously, like serious, because the whole time, it's even when we went off, like right when we went off, I was like, damn, I'm not gonna see them for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So like,
it was more than 2 weeks, I think.
More than 2 weeks, yeah. So it feels good to be back.
It does feel good.
A little separation anxiety.
Right.
started going on to Brad's Instagram. I'm like, I wonder where Brad is today.
Right.
Yeah, Brad seems to be having too much of a good time going on over there, right?
I know. I saw you with your kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was on a Caribbean island. It was very nice.
It looked beautiful.
But you know what? I'm having trouble with my computer, but it is what it is. Uh-huh. So I don't know, but it's okay.
Oh,
it's okay. By the way, today's show, we are not going to be taking any calls because I'm still at home. I have to legally quarantine because I was away until Thursday. So today is a quarantine show. It's New York State law. Tomorrow is a quarantine show, but Thursday I will be back in studios. I'm off quarantine on Thursday. We will be back in the studios on Thursday. We'll be taking your calls on Thursday, but today's a quarantine and tomorrow's a quarantine. Is what it is. But let's say hello to the squad who we've missed
so much.
By the way, before I say hello to the squad, I would be remiss to ask you guys how your holidays were, your Christmas and your New Year's. How dare I just go right to the squad and just go right over you guys?
That's quick.
Yeah. We'll let the squad go rolling in. We know sometimes, they don't have those notification bells turned on.
Right.
So we're going to give them a few seconds to see that we're live. But thankfully, I had a very small, humble, healthy holiday. I was just with my parents and my boyfriend. We just enjoyed dinner. And it was quiet and it was wholesome. It was family. So I'm grateful, had a good time. I'm realizing the gift thing isn't a thing anymore. I learned that Santa is probably not real, and that was my only deceit this holiday.
That Santa's not real.
Yeah,
you just found that out. I don't want to embarrass you.
Don't say that over here.
But how old are you that you just found this out just now?
I mean, or maybe the gifts they become very different as you get older.
Okay.
I had one of my uncles still give me a nice little Christmas card that still came pretty fluffy, and in that moment, I felt like a kid again.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. I never had Santa never came and visited me ever, so
Santa still comes to our household.
Santa never came for me ever. Isn't it sad? Never. I never saw him. Yes. Never ate any of my cookies. I left out. Nothing.
Still comes. Well, my Christmas was absolutely lonely, cold, and horrible.
Oh, that's sad.
By myself for the first time in my entire life. Could not go home because COVID cases in California is crazy. So none of the siblings went home. We all just did a bunch of Zoom parties with the family. I made a big video for the family of us throughout the years together. So it was a surprise. And just like I took down my Christmas decorations on Christmas Day. That's what I did.
By the way, we can have when we talk about this. We can talk about this at tea time. I just got a notification that Kanye and Kim Kardashian are filing for divorce.
Oh, is it like finally official?
It is finally official. It was just announced just now.
I think
but we can talk about it during tea time because it is tea time Tuesdays.
Look, I'm about to look at. Are you serious?
Yeah. But let's say hello to the squad.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Elizabeth Francis, Happy New Year. Casey Ben, Happy New Year. Squad up. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying welcome back. Sasha Ford, how are you? Jessica Leamy, Joan Grant, squad up. Therese Slater saying hello, Uncle Brad and squad. Happy New Year. Vitalis Asugwu, squad up and compliments of the season. Willie L. Williams, a blast from the past. Willie L. Williams, always joining us. Therese Slater, all the best for 2021. It really can't. We only have this way to go. All right, I can't. Short of aliens coming and destroying the world, I can't imagine it being worse than 2020. Right?
I can't either. Absolutely not. So
unless aliens are coming to destroy the world, I think we're going to all have a better 2021. I'm pretty positive about that one. Elizabeth Francis, I said Doreen Dappa saying hello. Tanisha Brown, squad up. I'm going to go through all of them. I don't want, because it's a new year. I don't want to insult anybody. Tanisha Brown, I said Carol Samaru, Charmaine Miller, Makisha, Akin Body Sandy, squad up. May Darby, with a question we'll get back to you in a little bit. Dion Reed, how are you? Tracy Rowe, Michelle Lim, Carlene Alcock, squad up. Tigo Goodis, squad up. Curry Flavor, Keita Daly, squad up. Sadie Fula, I said Elizabeth Francis already. Mel Caballero, Edwards Richards, Happy New Year to everybody. Who else we have here? I said Carlene Alcock. Michelle Pagaspis Yabbit. Squad up. Gilly D, Happy New Year. Tracy Rose, squad up. Doreen Marshall, Elliot, Trisha Osborne, Cindy Laymeyer King, saying thank you so much for helping us. And then has a question. We will get that in a little bit. Carol Ang sent 45 stars. Carol, that is so sweet of you. Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Mimo Minkov. He's always texting me. Hello and squad up. Christy Consali saying hello, everybody. Mimo Minkov saying we back to the amazing Brad squad. We missed all of you. Thank you, Mimo. And who else we have here? Denisha Joseph. Vivian, part of the crew, squad up. And Paulette Bryce Cameron, squad up. Donna Spence, a prosperous 2021 to you and all. Marcia McCalla and Joy Titus and Angelica Powell, squad up. By the way, guys, here, YouTube is working a little bit. YouTube's a little weird today, my YouTube. AJ, Happy New Year. Classic World with a question. Shalom. Shalom. Saying Happy New Year, guys. I missed you. David Besserell, squad up. Let's get this green card this year. Why not, David? AJ with a question. We'll get back to you in a little bit. Miraz Aztaf has traffic court tomorrow for driving a vehicle with a conditional and driving when out of service. So it counts as a misdemeanor, class 2 in Virginia. If guilty, will it affect my pending I-485? I don't know what the law is in Virginia off the top of my head. So, I don't know. But just because it is a crime of moral just because it is a misdemeanor doesn't necessarily mean it's a crime of moral turpitude. There is no immigration law that says you have a misdemeanor, you can't get a green card. There's an immigration law that says if you have a crime of moral turpitude, it's not a petty offense, you can't get a green card. Now, whether or not this particular offense in Virginia is a crime of moral turpitude or just a misdemeanor, who knows? And what is a misdemeanor? I mean, what is a crime of moral turpitude? Boy, I'm already mixing up my words, and we are only in 5 minutes into 2020. What is a crime of moral turpitude? It means that you have a bad mind, that you had an intent to do something bad. So it depends on how the law is written, whether or not you had a bad mind, you had the intent of doing something bad versus just violation of the law. And I'll give you a perfect example. It is, many states write laws that say it is a crime to drive over 65, period. If you're driving over 65, it's a crime. So it could be even a misdemeanor. But there was no intent. It's just you're physically doing it. You're just driving over 75, but it doesn't say whether you did it on purpose, whether you knew you were driving over 65. So it depends on how the traffic infraction is written, because if there is no intent in that law, then it's no crime of moral turpitude or no knowledge of doing something wrong. If the law is written that, you intentionally or you knowingly drive over 65 miles an hour, well, then, yeah, it could be a crime of moral turpitude. Yo-Yo, my first early answer.
I see. Going in early.
I went in. You know what they say, and it's not even hump day, but they say go in early and go in deep. So
well, here we are.
It just sounded dirty to me when I was saying it, but it's true. You go in early, you go in deep.
Yes. It's early, y'all. It's early.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Yeah. Sorry about that, Vanessa.
I'm always here. I'm always here for support. I'm here for it.
I was saying it, then I was like, wow, that doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah. Well.
Well. Why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while we get ready to schmooze? And
yes, let's do that. All right, everybody. It is the first show of the new year. This is going to be an amazing year. Let's start it off right by all joining in on the VIP page on Facebook. All you have to go to is the search engine on Facebook and put in Brad Squad VIP, and then it will pop up. You have to make sure it says join. Okay, it should be a closed group that we have to accept you in. And when you do that, you can throw in your questions anytime throughout the day. Doesn't matter what time, just before the show. And we will take the first 5 questions and we'll ask them before any of the social media questions that we get on the live show. All right, so make sure you guys do that. And of course, we'll throw in a bunch of different surprises and games and different, just different things that we're going to throw into that VIP page that we won't put on our other social media platforms. So make sure you join that now. Now, Facebook. My squad, you already know what time it is. It's time to please start sharing. And not only sharing, let's also start a watch party. But first, let me tell you how to start sharing, all right? It's very easy. All you have to do is click that little arrow. It says share, and share it to anyone's page. You can share it in an inbox. You can make it a personal message. You could copy the link, send it to your fans, your friends and family. You could also, please, go to different groups. Like I say, let's research groups during the day, all right? So we know that we're going to know the groups that we're going to share this video to, and then just share it to them right now. It's super easy. Now, starting the watch party, that is another great way to get this out to all of your friends, because all your friends that are online right now will get a ding notification right when you start your watch party, okay? Now, all you have to do that, if you have any questions, also, I see all the comments right now. Let me know, and I will make sure I'll tell you again. But I'm telling you now, all you have to do is click that little share button that says more option, start a watch party, and then host, okay? It will take the video from our page to your page, and now you are the host with the most, the hostess with the mostest, and you will have all your friends go in there and start typing and texting, and make sure you send them into the main page too. Introduce them, all right? If your friends come from your host party or your watch party into the main group, introduce them. Let the Brad Squad, remember, we're a community. Let them know that this is your people, all right? And we're gonna embrace them with warm arms, all right? Now, next quick, what are we gonna do on YouTube?
Okay, squad, on YouTube, the most important thing you guys have to do is make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you know when Brad's show is on live all 2021. We also want to hear from you guys in the comments, so make sure that you are putting your questions in there so that we can get to them during social media check-in. Let's get some feedback. How was you guys' New Year? Let's have conversations. I love talking to you guys on YouTube, so make sure that you're doing that. We would love to see you guys' support even more heavily. We're so grateful for you guys in 2021. And one of the ways that you can do that is by giving us those thumbs up. When you give us a thumbs up, it lets YouTube know that there is great work, that there is great things happening here on Brad Show Live, and that they should boost us up so that we can reach more and more people and get the squad growing more and more. We want to help as many people as we can in this new year. That's certainly one of our missions here on Brad Show Live. So make sure that you give us that thumbs up. And another way that the Brad Scott Squad can grow, that is right on your fingertips, is by you guys clicking that share arrow. When you click that share arrow, it allows you to copy the link for this live stream right now. And you can send that in a text message, send it in a group chat, send it out to a friend, a family member, someone that you know would really, really gain some great value from our show. And you guys always know that we are helping so many people here. So bring more folks to the squad. Let them know that Brad Show Live is happening and we're back strong in 2021. If you cannot catch a full show of Brad Show Live, we are on Instagram at Brad Show Live. So make sure that you are following us there, where we do put the best snippets of our show, our best content. We share some questions and answers, and you can also ask your questions in our direct message, and someone from the squad will get them to Brad and your question will be answered. So make sure that you are following us on Instagram. But without further ado, let's get into the first schmoozing of 2021 with Brad.
Before we schmooze, I just want to remind people a few things. Because I forgot the reminders. Number one, we're not taking calls today because I'm in quarantine for 2 more days. On Thursday, we're going to be taking calls. So make sure you leave your immigration questions in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. You can always call Spar and Bernstein to schedule a consultation with me at 1-800-529-5465. Yo-Yo and Vanessa have already reminded everybody to subscribe on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Instagram, because if you do, then you'll be notified every time we come live. Don't forget to start your watch parties on Facebook. And later today, we're going to have a recap of 2020. We're going to go down memory lane with Brad Show Live and the entire squad. But right now, Julian, let's rewind that one more time. Let's go schmoozing with Brad. So it just every day the news is getting, I want to say, almost sick in a way now. The police officers involved in the shooting of Jacob Blake, it came out about an hour ago. They are not going to face any criminal charges out in Kenosha County, Wisconsin. If you remember, Blake, who is black, he was shot 7 times at close range on August 23rd as he walking away, shot in the back by Kenosha police officer Rustin Shesky, who was answering a domestic violence call. Now, Michael Gravely, he's the district attorney in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He said he shared his findings with Blake before speaking to reporters late Tuesday afternoon. Now, even before announcing his findings, Gravely pleaded for peace, asking, can moments of tragedy like this be an opportunity to build things? I don't know how you build things. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Gravely. I don't know how you build things by letting 7 cops off the hook without any criminal liability for shooting somebody 7 times in the back. Shooting somebody 1 time in the back. 7 times? It wasn't enough. That to stop him with 1 bullet, 7 bullets,
Right.
and it was all in the back.
And walking away from them, right? Because a lot of times it's like, oh, they were walking towards us, and we didn't feel safe.
Right.
I don't understand bullets 2 through 7.
Right.
Right.
I don't understand bullet number 1, but I certainly don't understand bullets 2 through 7.
Yeah, I was about to say, even bullet number 1, you're walking.
I said I don't understand bullet number 1. But if there's an argument for bullet number 1, I don't know what the argument is for bullet 2 through 7. Because if you shoot somebody in the back with a bullet, I don't think your life's going to be much in danger. What's the guy going to do to you? He's shot in the back with a bullet.
So would there have been justice if the case was even more unfortunate and this gentleman would have passed? Like, is that what the law? Like, is that what we need to have?
No, it shouldn't have happened. No, because
wow,
murder, attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon. They're all serious offenses. This guy, Blake, is paralyzed from the waist down.
Paralyzed.
It's a family.
And now Kenosha police officers, they're not equipped with body cameras. But if you remember, a bystander captured the confrontation that appeared to show that Blake was walking away. He was about to get into the driver's side of his SUV when Sheshki opened fire. Now, Sheshki and fellow officer Vincent Arenas both used tasers on Blake, but couldn't stop him. That's the claim. I don't know. I wasn't there. But they claim that the taser didn't stop him. Blake, if there is a defense, Blake was, excuse me 1 second. Excuse me. Blake, who I don't understand why I'm home. My kids decide all of a sudden to start cooking dinner. I'm like, I'm doing a show here.
Not cooking dinner.
Come on. And I just told him, stay in his room, man.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. What the hell?
Hey, I actually love when that happens.
It's like I just went in there 30 minutes ago and I said, stay in your room.
Oh my God.
And then all of a sudden the freezer's opening, pots are coming out.
Well, just know
what you starve to death in the next hour. Meanwhile,
hang in there.
You're off your fat storage. Okay, there's a little fat storage on you.
We all got it.
Right. It's not like he's Zach's a string bean and he's got no fat to live off of for the next hour. Oh. So sorry, I had to do that, and it's very serious what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, Sheshki, he says that the tasers didn't work and couldn't stop him. Mm-hmm. Now, if there's a defense, I guess there's a defense because the officers were found not even probable cause to bring charges. There was a knife in the car. Mm-hmm. How did the cops see a knife in the car?
Right.
Okay, there's a knife in the car. It's on the floor. How the hell do they see a knife in the car? Guys opening the door. They're 10, 20, 30 feet away, whatever it is. The hell they know what he's going for. Mm. Now, Ryan White, the bystander who shot the video, he said he did hear the police yelling, drop the knife, but he never actually saw Blake have a knife in his hands. And if you remember, the ensuing protests in Kenosha also led to the slaying of two other guys. Kyle Rittenhouse, he was the white teenager from Antioch, Illinois, and he gunned down protester Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber during protests on August 25th. Mm-hmm. And he also shot and critically wounded another man. Now he's being charged with homicide.
Good.
Oh,
just very sad all around. It's very sad that a 17-year-old boy would come out with a gun and do that. I don't know where the parents are of this child.
Yeah.
Okay. I know children are difficult sometimes. They come out and want to cook when they shouldn't be.
Right.
But there's a big difference between having a pot and a gun.
Yeah. I definitely think the parents should have gotten something as well because they knew about him having the guns as well. And they obviously had to allow it. It's actually crazy though, because, in the area from where he's from, when I was going to St. Thomas, I was actually talking to this guy who was sitting next to me, and he's from a small town in Illinois. And I was talking to another older lady that was from Texas, and we were talking about how we didn't like guns. And he was like, oh, I've had AK-47 and all this and rifles and all of this since I was like 12 or 11. And I'm like, really?
It's culture.
It's culture.
It's culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if that is the culture, then the parents still have to teach you, you know, what
Gun safety.
like exactly. Yeah, like he said, like even though it's part of his culture and he uses it for hunting and like even shooting like little things in the forest or whatever, he knows not to go out and just shoot random people, even if he's mad, you know. So,
Now, from the Blake perspective, I don't know enough about the case because I haven't studied all. I have to be honest with you, I haven't studied all of the facts, and there's lots of people who know more about the intricate facts of what happened because I haven't. I follow in the news and I read the news articles, but I haven't really dug deep into what the facts were that got these officers off. They just got announced it about an hour ago, legally.
right.
But my spidey sense says and I'm usually right on my spidey sense. There's something rotten when somebody gets shot in the back, and maybe there's a defense for the first bullet, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the defense is for bullets number 2 through 7. What justifies second shot and the third shot and the fourth? Because how in danger was this person? Were these cops from a man whose back was against them?
Right.
That part I just can't get with.
I don't get it.
And they said like when they got there, he was putting his child into the vehicle and said, "I'm taking my child in the car. Just relieve."
Yeah. I don't get it. Meanwhile, a lot going on. 2 crucial Georgia runoff elections are happening today.
Yes.
By the way, we'll be talking more about the Blake. I got to read up more on it, why these cops got off.
Yeah.
Okay. It just happened an hour ago, and I didn't have a chance. We wanted to talk about it, but I didn't get a chance to really
This will be
dive into it.
Yeah, it'll be a good one to research and like come back to.
Meanwhile, a lot going on. 2 crucial Georgia runoff elections are happening today, and they're going to determine which party controls the Senate. John Ossoff is he's the Democrat running against Republican Senator David Perdue, and Democrat Reverend Warnock is running against GOP incumbent Kelly Loeffler. If both Democrats win, it would shift the balance of power in the Senate to an even 50-50 split. Kamala Harris would be the deciding vote. So the Senate would be Democrat. The House of Representatives would be Democrat. The executive office, the President of the United States, would be Democrat. We will know in a few hours.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Trump called Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger over the weekend. You know about this when he tried to tell the Secretary of State to change the results of the Georgia election. In the recording, Trump berated Raffensperger, tried to flatter him, begged him to act, and threatened him with criminal consequences if he refused. At one point, warning Raffensperger that he was taking the risk. Let's listen.
Little information. I think you're going to find that they are shredding ballots because they have to get rid of the ballots because the ballots are unsigned. The ballots and they're brand new and they don't have seals. And there's a whole thing with the ballots, but the ballots are corrupt. And you're going to find that they are, which is totally illegal. It's more illegal for you than it is for them because you know what they did and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense.
Throughout the call, Raffensperger rejected Trump's claims, explaining Trump is relying on debunked conspiracy theories and that Biden's 11,779 vote victory in Georgia is fair and is accurate. Trump ignored him, saying that the people of Georgia are angry, the people of the country are angry. There's nothing wrong with saying, you've recalculated. At another point, Trump said, so look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes. This is what authoritarians do. Every authoritarian in modern recent time is that Mama Yo-Yo?
I don't understand why she would be.
Why is Mama Yo-Yo calling you right now?
You should be on the show. Be watching the show.
One of those days we're starting off really good. But every authoritarian in modern history, or many of them, or most of them, started off as elected officials. Adolf Hitler was elected the Chancellor of Germany. We know how he turned out.
Right.
Vladimir Putin, he was elected the head of the prime minister of Russia. He hasn't never left in 20 some odd years. Erdogan in Turkey, he was elected prime minister. He's president now, authoritarian dictator. He never leaves either. And so Trump is trying to follow those footsteps to get elected fairly and then never leave office. That's what authoritarians do.
Wow.
So Trump later said in that phone call, so what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes, fellas. I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break. Let's listen.
Little information. I think you're going to find that they are shredding ballots because they have. So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Now, you know who Carl Bernstein is? Carl Bernstein, he's not my uncle. I have no relationship to him whatsoever. He was one of the two reporters, him and Bernstein and Woodward, who broke the Watergate scandal that led to Nixon. He's the most famous Bernstein in the world right now, much more famous than me. He was the Bernstein who, I have no relationship to him. Maybe I'm related to him through 50 cousins down the line, but I don't know the man. He broke the Watergate scandal. And he has said, who is the man who broke the Watergate scandal at Nixon, that what Trump did on this telephone call is more criminal than what Richard Nixon did to have him resign from office. Yet, when the world found out what Richard Nixon did with Watergate, both Republicans and Democrats said that what you did was illegal, it's undemocratic, and you can't be president anymore. Yet, here we are, nobody's calling for Trump to leave office.
What's the difference? What do you feel like is the difference? Why? Is it just a whole different set of, like, the generations actually cared more?
No, I think people are more interested in power, and they believe that Trump still holds a big sway over a large swath of voters. And as long as Trump holds big sway over a large swath of voters, and Trump raised several $100 million to give to candidates. So he has a lot of money to give to candidates. He has a big swath of voters who follow him. As Trump said, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they'll still vote for me.
I did say that.
And he has a big Twitter account, and he has a big, loud voice that he can tell, somebody goes against him. He says, that's it. We're putting somebody against you. You're going to be out of office. So politicians who want to remain in office, it's always the politicians who are retiring who always go up against Trump.
Right.
It's never the politicians who are remaining in office. Although I believe that, and I was saying this earlier to Jilly, I believe that, mark my word, within 90 days of Trump leaving office, he's going to do something on Twitter that's going to get him banned from Twitter. That is because right now the reason Twitter's not banning him is because he's the president of the United States of America. So he enjoys a much larger ability to say crap that other normal, private citizens can't say.
Yeah.
But once he is no longer president, he's a private citizen like me and you. He can't say stuff that he's saying as president of the United States. And I believe, my guess, I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. I have a magic 8-ball, but I don't have it with me at the moment. But I believe, it's my guess, we'll see what happens. And if it happens, we'll play it back. That I said it here. He will be banned from Twitter in 90 days.
I can't wait for that.
I hope so. I hope so. Let's see what else is happening here. We'll talk about the vote on the Electoral College. That's tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We gotta move along here a little bit. This was good. Some good immigration news in France. The government is fast-tracking almost 700 citizenship applications from foreign frontline workers who have distinguished themselves in the battle against COVID. So in France, people who are nurses and doctors and frontline workers who may be out of status in France, they're getting an amnesty. So congratulations to them there in France.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know what our nurses are getting here. I don't know. Meanwhile, according to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, there are now over 85 million coronavirus cases worldwide. In the United States, more than 20 million people have been diagnosed with COVID. There is a new strain of COVID coming from the UK. It's called the B117. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Okay, it's now in more than 30 countries. It's in Colorado, California, Florida, and I don't want to say it, but it's also here in New York.
Oh God.
Yes. Now, there is no evidence that this is a more deadly strain. It is just more likely to infect you. And now the UK has become the first country to start giving out the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine. It's the cheaper version. It's the version that is based on the old vaccines that you would get for the flu, for polio, where they're just basically injecting you a virus that is dead, right, or a skeletal virus, versus the new Moderna ones and the Pfizer ones that are actually manipulating your RNA to tell your DNA to fight the
vid.
Yeah. Now, Italy, UK is going in a major lockdown. Italy has imposed new lockdowns. Germany is considering extending coronavirus restrictions. India has also approved the vaccine. By the way, one country, the United States, especially here in New York, it's a disaster. Only about 30% of the vaccinations that were supposed to be done in New York by the end of the year have been done so far. The 70% hasn't even been done. They're way behind. Other states are doing better. But you want to know one country that's doing really well? They've organized themselves very well. Israel, in less than 2 weeks, they've inoculated 10% of their population already. In 2 weeks.
Wow.
That means that if you continue that in another 18 weeks, which is 4, 8, 12, 6, another 3 months, the entire country is going to be vaccinated.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, he threatened to give out fines of up to $100,000 and restrict further doses to hospitals that don't administer their supply of the vaccines. New York, the United States has only given out a little over 4 million vaccinations so far. Wow. Out of a population of 300 million.
Jeez.
All right. So I'm not exactly sure what everybody was doing in the federal government and state government and local governments while we were home quarantining when they knew this vaccine's coming out to organize themselves to get this vaccine into people. It's government for you. That is government for you. Yeah. All right, we got to get to some tea with Brad. I don't have my teacup here. I don't have a butler. What I do have is from Hershey Park. Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania, the home of chocolate.
Okay.
My Brad, Hershey, Pennsylvania.
I like it.
And that'll do. That'll do for tea time.
And it's still good for tea time. It's still good for tea time. What do you think of this whole Hilaria Baldwin? I don't even know what her name is anymore. Is it Hillary? Hilaria?
Who?
Hilaria Baldwin? Alec Baldwin's wife. You know about this? She appropriated the Spanish culture. Told everybody she was from Spain.
What?
She spoke, she's from Spain. She was born in Mallorca. She is Spanish. She even went on some TV shows and was using a Spanish accent as if she was from Spain. Didn't know how to say the word cucumber in English. And it turns out that, in fact, she is a fourth-generation American white girl born in Massachusetts.
Are you serious?
Yes, you didn't hear this?
No.
No, I wasn't familiar with this one.
Yes.
Did she not know that she would get caught?
I guess, well, millions of people, they were surprised to learn that Hilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's wife, he's the guy who does Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live, and has 5 children with Alec. She is not a Spaniard. She's an American, born and raised in Boston. The internet and the news media have been sharing. I mean, that is, if you ever talk about cultural appropriation. The internet and news media have been sharing evidence of Hillary speaking in a Spanish accent in videos and magazine interviews and Hola, and they cite her, these magazines cite her as a native Spanish speaker. And as I said, there's even a bizarre Today Show clip where she's making gazpacho and doesn't know the English word for a cucumber. Now she claims she didn't know that Hola magazine, for which she posed for twice on the cover and wrote about her 20 different times, ever said she wasn't born in America. And she claims she got confused about the word for cucumber because she had a brain fart. I don't get it.
This is crazy.
Is that the craziest thing you've ever heard in your entire life?
Like basically who you are, like your entire.
She's a con artist.
I mean, it reminds me of Rachel Dolezal. That's who it reminds me of. Rachel Dolezal.
She was the woman who made pretend she was a black woman when she was a white woman.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that one. I remember that story.
Yes. So I mean, people do it. Why? I don't know.
Right.
And I'm an Alec fan. I like him. I really like him, but his wifey's a liar.
So did Alec not know either?
I'm going to tell you something. It's crazy. I want you to be proud of who you are.
In 2021, who are you guys going to be in 2021? Go ahead.
I don't know. I was thinking, who should I appropriate? Maybe, what should I be? Yo, should I?
I don't know, but I love who I am. I'm not appropriating nothing. I don't know.
I love who I couldn't appropriate it if I wanted to.
Right.
All right. If I want,
I'm Italian.
Maybe.
This is a trick question, boys. I wanted to see if in 2021 you guys were confident in who you are.
I am. I want you to know. I mean, I believe I have Jewish New Yorker written right across my face. But I don't know. You know how confident I am. Did I ever share this with you? I don't know if I ever shared this with you. How confident I am that I am a Jewish New Yorker.
How?
Okay.
How do you know there's no doubt? There's no doubt about it.
I had sent my DNA into 23andMe.
Oh yes, I remember.
And 23andMe, they, you spit in the cup and they send the DNA and they send it back to me. And then and I was 99.5% Ashkenazi Jew.
Yes.
Ashkenazi Jew is European Jew. Okay, so there's a distinct DNA for Ashkenazi Jew. Mm-hmm. And I was 0.05% Eskimo. Siberian Eskimo. So I said, how the heck did I be getting 0.05% Siberian Eskimo?
Wasn't that Yakut? Is that what?
Yakut, yes. Yes, remember Yakut? Right. I was 0.05% Yakut. You remember?
I remember.
And I'm saying, and then I'm showing my friend, and my friend says, oh, some Eskimo must have snuck into the village 700 years ago and just up grandma. I mean, how do you become, 0.0? Bottom line is,
all the way.
I am who I am. Jewish New Yorker.
Yeah,
there it is.
No faking it.
Yeah, I don't get this whole cultural appropriation. I get to appreciate a culture and love a culture. I get that.
Appreciation is fine.
I love a culture. I appreciate it. I love all various cultures. There's lots of different cultures I like, some more than others. Yeah. Some music I love more than others. Some food I love more than others. So I totally get loving a culture, loving a food, loving a group of people. I don't get saying I am them, though.
Right.
That's weird. That's
you can appreciate them.
Yeah. Appreciate, but not appropriate.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
It's appreciate but not appropriate. It was like when I was away in the Caribbean every day, you know, I would tell the kids, let's think positive, but test negative.
Right.
That was my saying all for 2 weeks.
I love that. That's
Right. I said, we're thinking positive and we're testing negative.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, meanwhile, Drake is having a scented candle too now.
Oh, gosh.
Everybody's getting on the scented candle. Okay. First it was Gwyneth Paltrow's You Can Smell Her. You know what? Now you can light a candle and it smells like Drake. Revolve, the company he teamed up with, describes the scent the $80 candle emits as a smoothie, musky fragrance that is introspective as it is an interpretation of your beautiful self, yet extrovertive as how you would want others to hold your bold and brilliant self. I don't know what the hell that means.
$80 though? Sheesh.
I don't know what that means, but you light that candle, all right? It's as if Drake is hanging out in your living room.
I for some reason, so I just started getting into candles, as you can see right here. Like I'm like the candle man. This one is the bachelor pad. You know, I have pomegranate cedar wood. So I kind of started to learn about candles. I have a feeling like that candle probably smells good. I'm not paying no $80 for it, but I have.
It looks small though, yo. It looks small.
It doesn't even look. I mean, basically, Drake shows up at your house for like 3 hours, and that candle's done.
Yeah, you see, but yeah,
$80. What do you think of Drake selling an $80 candle? I mean, does he really need that $80?
No, but I mean, it's still a business venture.
I know, of course, it's a business, but $80? Come on, man, for a candle.
Beyonce got that.
I would not.
And it's not even a 3-wick.
Huh? I gotta tell you something, you know, it's not like, you know, I'm the richest man in the world, but I mean, I have a couple of bucks and I wouldn't spend $80 for that candle. I wouldn't do that.
How much would you spend for that candle? Do you like candles, first of all?
I do, but you can get nice candles for $20, $25.
Oh, you see, you better than me. I look for the ones on sale at Marshall's.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get nice smelling candles for $20 or $25. I mean, spend $80 on a candle that burns and it's done in 3 hours.
That's crazy.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I definitely think that's too steep.
All right. Meanwhile, 3 of the 5 acts nominated for the 2021 Best Children's Album Grammy Award are sharing the outrage that the contenders in their category are all white. One of them is Alistair Mook, whose nominated album, Be a Pain, is about American heroes who stood up for their principles. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Harvey Milk, Rosa Parks, the Parkland shooting, student protesters, and others. Mook said after this year, to have an all-white slate of nominees seemed really tone-deaf, adding that he'd love to get a Grammy, but I don't want it like this, where the playing field's not even. So Mook, he's protesting by turning down his nomination. So are fellow nominees Dog on Fleas and the Okie Dokie Brothers. Joe Mallender, one of the Okie Dokie Brothers, said, "We thought that it was the strongest thing we could do to stand with people of color whose albums are too often left off of the Grammy nominations." The Okie Dokie Brothers, Mook and Dog on Fleas, sent a letter to the Recording Academy asking that their names be removed from the final Grammy ballots. They wrote they couldn't, in good conscience, benefit from a process that has historically overlooked women and artists of color.
Oh, then.
What do you think?
I
Can
mean,
you guys hear me? Am I bad?
I do now.
I wasn't sure.
I mean, I wish that it was colorblind.
Yeah.
And if it was really colorblind, the best would win. But I understand what they're saying is, how could this be completely colorblind? And for year after year after year, just people who are minorities and blacks being left off. And, you know, when you know, the world is not 95% white or 90% white or whatever it is, but that large percentage of performers are white, there's something wrong, I would think, right?
Yeah. Especially it's 2021.
Yeah. You know,
the Grammys would have an all-white Grammy nomination in the rap category if they could. Like, I feel like that's just, you know, that's how the Grammys are. And it's really unfortunate because you have so many, especially newer artists that are coming out, minority artists that want to give up just because they feel like, and which I hate, because I hate that, you know, you would even give them, you know, which is the Grammys, the power to have that much control over your emotions. But
Right.
they want to give up because they feel like they're not appreciated.
I don't get it in 2021, even from like a business point of view.
Yeah.
You know, take Spar and Bernstein, for example. Okay. We're in New York City. We're the melting pot. If you really want to be honest with yourself and you walk into a business that is all one homogenous group of people, whether it's all white, all black, all Asian, whoever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not just saying white people, you know, it's just a homogenous group of people, especially here in New York or in big cities. They're not hiring the best. They're hiring within their group.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because it is impossible in this day and age. Okay. If you look at Spar and Bernstein, I mean, we can't look at it right now because, you know, where a lot of people are home, but if you ever come to my office, we are almost have every ethnic, and I don't do it on purpose. I do it as a smart businessman.
Yeah.
And the reason I do it as a smart businessman is this. I say, I just want to hire the best.
Right.
Whoever is the best person that walks through the door gets hired. And if you really hire based on who the best person is, I don't care if me personally, I could care less. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
be the best worker.
Right. I was going to say, as long as they get the job done.
That is how I do it. Give me the best worker. And at the end of the day, you get a
rainbow
of people.
Yeah.
And if this was done in business and it was done in at the Grammys, and you say, well, you know what, in this particular year, you know, in this category, it's all white, but maybe in the year past, it was all black. In the year before that, it was all Latin or a combination. But if it's year after year after year after year after year white,
yeah,
problem.
But they'll give us that 1 year. They always give us that 1 year after a couple of years.
Only when people start screaming and yelling.
There you go. But then the year after that, it goes right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad.
What do you think?
Yeah.
That's why I try not to give the Grammys too much. Like I don't promote it, don't watch it really. You know, I'll catch like clips of like different artists that I like, but I don't give them that much because, you know, I don't ever see it being fixed.
These boards, like who selects these things? Like who, you know, like leave it to the people. I'm not big on any of these award shows or any of these things anymore because I like what I like. The people around me like what they like. And I'm here for the people, from the people, all these different boards and things. I don't feel.
I don't even follow the awards anymore. I just always find out what happens after the fact. I'm
after
one, you know.
Literally.
Right. But you know what? If you're an artist and, you know, you really put your life into your project or your album or your movie or your TV show or your Bradshaw Live or whatever it is that you're doing, and you put your, you know, you just want to be, you know, respected and say, wow, you know what? I got an award. That makes you feel good as an artist.
Absolutely.
You know, so
yeah,
I feel bad for those people who are left off who deserved otherwise.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. The time of the day when we're going to answer immigration questions. But before we do that, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, we have to get into today's Breaducation, where I answer the question, if my adjustment of status application is pending, can I leave the United States? If your adjustment of status application is pending and you leave the United States, you have abandoned your adjustment of status application. Your application will then be denied. You will not be allowed back into the United States. The only way you can leave the United States while you have a pending adjustment of status application is with an advanced parole, pre-approved travel document that you obtain prior to getting on an airplane or a boat or in a car to drive across the border. If you have the advanced parole document and you have a pending adjustment of status application, you are free to go, but only go for a very short period of time, a week, 2 weeks. All right. We got to do something we like to call social media check-in.
Yeah. All right, everybody, remember I said if you guys are a part of the VIP page on Facebook, the Brad Squad page on Facebook, you will be able to throw in your questions anytime throughout the day, and we're going to ask the first 5 questions from there. So we have some VIP squad members. So we're going to start off with one of them, Bina Malka, asking, please speak about Trump's healthcare proclamation being upheld.
What healthcare proclamation being upheld?
I don't know. I didn't even know.
You're talking about what healthcare proclamation? Immigration proclamation, healthcare proclamation? I'm not sure I'm not a healthcare lawyer.
This is true.
So I don't know which proclamation they're talking about. To be more specific, maybe they're referring to something to do with the, perhaps something to do with the I-944 form. And, if you get, some sort of Medicaid or and you don't have health insurance, you would be denied. Is that what they're referring to? But that's not a proclamation, it's an actual regulation.
Right.
With the 944 form. So be more specific and ask what you're asking. Okay, let's continue.
Adriana Hillary, another Brad Squad VIP member, asked, what is the cost for VAWA?
The cost?
Yeah.
It's $0. To file a VAWA application, the cost is $0. To file an adjustment with the VAWA, that's $1,225. But to actually file the VAWA application, $0.
Okay, Baron Elaine, another VIP Brad Squad member. I'm building my I-751 evidence for next year. I already have my green card for 2 years and I'll file evidence for the next 10 years. What would be the best evidence to send? Credit cards, bank statements, and how many months or years should I send? How many years of taxes? Are IRS tax return transcripts enough? Can I avoid an interview if I build a great case with evidence? I heard they're avoiding interviews due to COVID.
Perhaps recently they've been approving cases without interviews, but for the last several years, everybody's been interviewed. As far as what is your evidence, you have to prove it's a bona fide marriage. And for I-751s, sometimes they say, it's quality over quantity. But for I-751s, it's quantity, quantity, quantity. Mm-hmm. The more, the better. So to answer your question, should you send in 3 months of bank statements or 3 years of bank statements? You send in 3 years of bank statements. Should you send in 3 months of credit card bills or 3 years of credit card bills? You send in 3 years of credit card bills. You send in years and years and years of your life together with your spouse. If you have to back up a truck to immigration, you back up that truck. Mm-hmm. Literally. Yeah. And so, people get denied when they submit 1 month bank statements or 2 months of bank statements. Submit years and years and years. That's what you need to submit. And in terms of why are you submitting bank statements? Why are you submitting credit cards? You're submitting this to prove a bona fide marriage. And we say this all the time. What is a bona fide marriage? Well, besides living physically together with your spouse, a bona fide marriage is when you have a financial relationship with your spouse. Mm-hmm. So you have a bank account and you're paying your credit card bills, and your spouse has charges on the credit card bill. You have charges on the credit card bill, and your spouse has income and you have income, and you put that income in a bank account, and then you pay with your joint money, your joint bills, your credit card bills, your insurance bills. That's what they want to see. And they want to see a life together, not a snapshot together. Right. They don't want to see a moment in time. They want to see all of the time.
Now's the time.
Your entire life. So this is not a picture. They want to see the movie.
Got you. I like that.
Ha. Thank you. That was a good analogy. All right, the next one comes from Lena Goyas on Instagram. I'm going for my citizenship in a few weeks. I had a DUI back in 2017, which I paid and it was expunged. A friend had a DUI as well going into her citizenship, and they mentioned a form before she could receive her citizenship. Would I need this form as well for my appointment?
I don't know what form you're talking about, but right now under the Trump administration, even though DUI is not a deportable offense, it is bad moral character. So if you're basing your citizenship on 5 years good moral character, the fact that you have a DUI within the last 5 years could be problematic. If you're basing it on 3 years good moral character, because it's 3 years of a bona fide marriage to a United States citizen, then you may be past that point already. But I'm not sure what form you're referring to. There is no form. There's no good moral character.
Okay, so that would be an issue. All right, got it.
Yes.
Nell Comedy Jam on YouTube. My minor child or children will be doing their interview soon for adjustment of status, but their medical is up because it's been a year. Do I need to do it over to take it to the interview?
No, you should be okay unless they ask for it at the time of the interview, but you don't need to do it again. But I was waiting for a funny question. I mean, if you like so-and-so Comedy Jam with a... I thought it was going to be something funny. I'm like, I'm waiting for the punchline.
Listen, it ain't funny when it comes to life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Life ain't funny, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then the next one comes from Lido Abram on YouTube. I'm asking for AOS just to get my work permit and travel authorization for a new opportunity for work in Texas and my address in Jersey. Do you think it's risky to change?
I don't understand. What does he want to do? He's filing an adjustment and his address is in Texas and he's working in Jersey?
It's backwards. His work permit and travel authorization. He has a new opportunity for work in Texas and my address is in New Jersey. Do you think it's risky to change? This is for an AOS.
It depends what's happening with your adjustment of status. So, for example, if you're being sponsored by your parent, yeah, you can change your address. It's no big deal. Just make sure you change your address and you can switch it to Texas. The only risk is that it may be a little longer because they got to transfer the file to Texas and then you go to the back of the line. If it's a marriage adjustment, it's a little trickier because if you're living in New Jersey and you file in New Jersey and you get a job in Texas and you go off to Texas to work and you leave your spouse back in New Jersey, you've just caused a question about the bona fides of your marriage because now you're saying you're supposed to be living together, but now you're working in Texas and your wife is in Jersey or your husband's in New Jersey. And in order to prove a bona fide marriage, you've got to live together and have a financial relationship. So 50% of the battle you've already cut off. You're living in different states. So if you're going to take a job in Texas and it's based on a marriage, your spouse better come to Texas with you and change the address. The last thing you want to do is say, oh, I'm working in Texas and I come home and visit once a month. Those cases end up going down in flames.
Michelle Sipley, the best on YouTube. If I get my EBT for my child, do I put the info on the additional page and indicate, I think my question number 20, that I am not a public charge and didn't receive public benefits since it's not mine?
You are not a public charge. You can get benefits for your child under the age of 18.
Amen. Kasharia on YouTube. I delivered my RFE for VAWA in Vermont 12 days ago, but no status change online. How long does it take? Should I be worried?
Don't worry about what's online because it's very delayed on what's happening. So because of COVID. So don't get up in arms over something not showing up online.
Max Jules on YouTube. My children are under TPS. Can they apply for DACA?
Yes. And by the way, if you qualify for DACA, for the original DACA, you can still apply for it now.
Oh. You
can put in, if you've never applied for DACA before, but you otherwise qualified, you can do it now.
And Easy on YouTube. Will a joint sponsor still be needed for a marriage-based interview when the beneficiary is making income that is 150 above poverty level? U.S. spouses are unemployed and collect unemployment. Is that okay?
Who's making 150% above? The person getting the green card?
Yes. Will a joint sponsor still be needed?
You will need a joint sponsor because the U.S. citizen petitioner earns nothing. So if, for example, let's say it was reverse and Melania Trump was the U.S. citizen, you know, Donald Trump sponsored Melania to get her green card through marriage. But let's say it was the reverse and Melania Trump was the U.S. citizen and Donald Trump was applying to adjust his status. And we all know Donald Trump has his billions of dollars. And Melania Trump probably hasn't worked in 30 years. So Melania Trump has no income. And she's sponsoring a billionaire. She would need a second affidavit of support.
Okay. We have Rare Pearl Key on YouTube. Can USCIS approve your I-485 if they reject your I-765 form and never send you a receipt number for your I-130 form?
Well, it depends on why they rejected the I-765.
It would be.
I mean, if they say you're not qualified to adjust your status, then, you know, I don't know why, you know, I need to know more.
Joss Ann Pottinger on YouTube. My dependent children were taken off from the account by NBC. All fees are paid and documents accepted, and we are waiting for the interview date. How can this be rectified?
Maybe they turned 21 and they don't qualify under the Child Status Protection Act. So it may be rectified, it may not. So it's either an error from the National Visa Center or your children aged out. I'm not sure. I would need to know more about your case. So there's something called the Child Status Protection Act. And what the Child Status Protection Act allows a child who is over 21 to still be included on the case if you paid the fees within 1 year of a visa being available to that child. So it depends on when you paid those fees at the National Visa Center. If you paid the fees more than a year, so in other words, they accepted the fees, so that means they said the children were under 21, and then either they reached 21 and they fell off because you paid the fees after more than 1 year after visa availability, then you have a problem. If you paid the fees within 1 year of visa availability and they accepted the case, then it's their fault. So it depends on, you know, we got to check into the case.
Okay. God is Merciful on YouTube. I have received the G1145 notification.
The G1145?
Yes.
Did you say the G11145?
G1145.
I have no idea what the G1145 is, but let's...
G-1145.
I still don't know what the G-1145 is, and maybe it exists. I've never heard the G with those numbers before, but it's possible. Let's hear what the question is.
Yeah, let's see what we can get out of it then. I've received the G-1145.
The G1145.
Yes, notification for my adjustment of status application, but not the notice in the mail as of yet. I submitted my application November 2020. What should I do?
I don't know what he's talking about. So it's obviously, I don't, and probably there is such a thing as a G1145. It's probably,
I'm going to Google it while you talk.
Notification of application.
Yeah, it's probably a receipt notice. I don't know all the names of all the.
Okay, so yeah, it's an e-notification of application.
Okay, because so I don't get those emails, so I wouldn't know. You know, it would come to my office, and but I don't actually see the email. It doesn't come to my email and I say, oh yeah, here it is. The G1145.
Right.
So I didn't know what it was, but yeah, as long as you got the e-notification, you're fine. Let's call it the e-notification.
E-notification from now on.
I didn't know it was the G1145. Okay.
I didn't either. Jilly gets on, Jilly be real fast.
But you are okay. You're okay because you got your e-notification. That's very funny though, because how would I never get emails on
right
to my email box, so I don't see what the.
That makes sense.
Classic World. AJ on YouTube. I filed my I-751 and it was received on December 22nd. I haven't received any email or I-797. How long before I should start to worry?
What did he file?
He filed an I-751.
How long has it been?
He received it. It was received on December 22nd.
Start worrying by February 22nd if you haven't gotten anything. It's
All right,
it's only been about 8
Yeah.
days, and 5 of them have been over Christmas and New Year's.
And last one for right now, Classic World on YouTube. I'm filing for my 12-year-old son in Jamaica. What forms do I need?
I-130 visa petition. That's it. Meanwhile, in today's attorney close-up, Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Mangrek gives some filing tips for getting your green card. Let's watch.
When filing for a green card, I think that people who are interested in obtaining a green card should thoroughly vet their attorney. I think that they should go around and basically meet with attorneys, and they should feel very comfortable with who they hire. I think it's very, very important to trust your attorney. I think it's important to be able to ask them questions so you can feel that they're basically working hard for you. I think it's a very important thing, and so you'll see with a lot of our clients, I make sure that basically they feel that they are being well represented. It's very important to trust your attorney, and also a lot of times clients feel that it's okay to call immigration, the 1-800 number, and ask questions. Those individuals are not attorneys, and they also are not supposed to give you advice, but will sometimes do so, and it can be harmful to your case. So that's why it's very important to trust your attorney and to talk to an attorney when you're handling or when you have an immigration case.
Let's go to our second round of social media check-in. What do we got?
Naf on Facebook. I'm from Cameroon in Africa, and I won the lottery to immigrate to the USA, and I've lived here for 4 years and 2 months. The person who played for me did not mention that I have a child, and it's specified when you're selected that if you did not mention any information, you would be disqualified if you mention it while filing for obtaining the visa. Now, I was told I could travel first and then take steps to take my daughter with me. I can apply for citizenship in August 2021. Would it be possible to add my daughter to my application without complications?
Well, you file your citizenship, and you should mention your daughter. The fact that you didn't mention your daughter when you were getting the diversity visa lottery, it is a misrepresentation, but I don't know if it would be considered a material misrepresentation, because whether you had a child or didn't have a child, you still qualified for the visa lottery either way. So you got really bad advice that, it's going to cause you a problem having your child, but you definitely don't want to lie on your citizenship, because then it would certainly be a material misrepresentation.
Right.
Frank on Facebook. I went for an I-485 interview on December 29th in Newark, New Jersey. The officer told me I will receive the green card in the mail. When should I expect it? There have been no updates when I check my case status.
Well, hopefully soon. I don't know what happened on your interview. I wasn't there, but if the officer said it would be approved, hopefully in about 12 weeks from the time you had your interview.
Dennis from Facebook. I got a letter to go for my biometric interview on December 24th, 2020. When I got to the office was closed, and there's no one to talk to. What should I do now?
This was an interview for what?
Biometrics.
Just wait for, call the 1-800 number first of all, and say, hey, I went for my biometrics and the office was closed. Can I get it rescheduled? That's where I would start. Or you can just, I was about to say wait in the mail for a new biometric appointment, but I would call the 1-800 number.
Yeah.
Kanisha on Facebook. I need to file for my parents now. How long will it take if I start their filing now? They both live in Jamaica on the island.
About 18 months.
I don't know how to pronounce this. So Sajaka on Facebook. I'm on H-1B and my spouse is on an H-4. We applied for I-485 and got our EAD combo card. I'm not planning to use the EAD since I have a valid H-1B on which I'm working with my sponsor, who also sponsored my I-140. Being on the H-4, my wife hasn't worked for the last 5 years. But now since she's gotten the EAD, can she work while the I-485 is still in process? During the I-485 interview, or if we get the RFE for the I-944, I've not submitted it with the I-485 application. Will it be any negative impact?
Well, you don't need the I-944 for an employment-based adjustment. That's number one. Number two, your wife should work. Why not? It has no negative impact whatsoever.
I am
Tamika
4 on Instagram. How long after receiving my green card do I need to wait to marry my fiance? I am Jamaican and was petitioned for by my mom, who's a U.S. citizen.
The day after you get your green card, go get married.
Okay, Anson Andel on Instagram. I came to the U.S. on a B1 visa. I got an inspection, but I overstayed. I've been in the U.S. for the past 4 years. Now I'm about to get married. Will I need to return to my country to get my green card, or can I get it here in the U.S.?
Of course you can get it here. If you're marrying a U.S. citizen, you're inspected. Of course you can adjust your status here if you overstayed. Don't go home because then you'll have a 10-year bar.
Alex Fern on YouTube. Is it okay to add 2 joint sponsors through CEAC on F3 visa category?
No, you have 1 joint sponsor per person. Now you can have 2 joint sponsors, have 1 joint sponsor for 1 family member on the application and have a separate joint sponsor for a different family member. But what you can't do is for 1 family member, have your primary sponsor, affidavit support, and then add 2 joint sponsors. So it's 1 + 1 per person.
All right, Lolade Akirele on YouTube. I filed for asylum after a year in the U.S. 150 days have passed now. Can I file for a work permit, or will the 365 days affect me?
When did you file?
After a year in the USA. So it's been 150 days.
When? It depends when the application went in. If it was done, if it's, I guess, 150 days, the law changed in August. So I assume that was, she filed before August. So then she should be able to apply for her work permit now.
Frank Ugoji on YouTube. What do I need to be aware of if I intend to travel to Nigeria with a VAWA parole in February?
Just make sure you don't get COVID and come back in under a month.
DB on YouTube. I applied for the I-485 7 months ago. How long will it take to get the biometrics? I already put in the service request to USCIS and got no response.
I don't know when COVID will be up in your particular neighborhood and immigration is going to be opening for biometrics. I don't know the answer to that. Nobody knows.
Chanel, Channel Fantasy 2 on YouTube. I submitted an application since September 30th, but still haven't received receipt notice. What do you think is happening?
There's nobody working at immigration. They could be closed because of COVID, but make sure that your check got cashed or your filing fee got cashed. As long as your check or filing fee was cashed, then you're okay.
Cayenne Worms on Facebook. Can a person get married on an H-2B extension?
Yes. But Pero.
Yes.
Did I say that right? Or should I have to roll the R? Pero. I can't do it right. Pero.
You were good the first time. You roll R.
I'm trying to be hilarious.
Like Pedro, like dog.
Pero, like.
Yeah. Pero. How do you say cucumber? Pero, if you file for your H-2B, it's a non-immigrant intent. So on the H-2B visa, if you put in your application to extend it, you're telling the government you have a non-immigrant intent. And if you go and file your adjustment and get married within 90 days of filing your extension, you've now committed a misrepresentation. So the answer is yes, provided the marriage and the application happens and the application goes in more than 90 days after you put in for the extension.
Marie Ama Sila on YouTube. My mom applied for my stepkids, and when I checked the status online, it states they sent a denial notice on November 2nd, but I have not received it. I have emailed and called them, but no success reaching them. What can I do?
Call them again and again, or do it for you.
Okay, Felicia Ugonbayo on YouTube. How long will it take for USCIS to send a receipt for an N400 for naturalization application?
It's obviously taking months these days.
All right. And that's it.
That's it for now. All right. Well, 2020 was quite a year, guys, if you remember. You remember that year? Do you remember that year?
It's in the back. It's in the past. We don't go to the back.
It's like in space, not spacemen, Men in Black.
Yeah. The neutralizer or something like that.
Neutralizer. I don't remember it. Well, all right. So I because it wasn't miserable enough, we thought that we should go and live it again. Donald Trump, he was the president. Oh my God. And he was making immigration very, very difficult for people. Coronavirus. Remember that? Remember when people had coronavirus and everyone was terrified of coronavirus? That was 2020. And it was still raging, thank God, 2021 is here now. We saw all people come together in solidarity to protest violent treatment of minorities and Black peoples at the hands of the police, marching in protests, even during a coronavirus pandemic. Quite a year.
Yes.
Quite a tough year. But we stayed on the air, Bradshaw Live, even during quarantine, which is where we are still today. The squad helped each other get through very, very rough times, and we all had some good laughs along the way. So even though 2020 was a terrible year for most, we want to go back and show some people we had some good times too. Let's watch. It's a new year, a new decade. Welcome to, I don't know what they're calling it. I guess the Roaring 20s until we have a name. Welcome, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, Vanessa Contreras, and today's date is January 7th, 2020. We still don't have a nickname for you.
Loading. I'm waiting for it.
They're
I'm waiting for the Brad Squad.
Nesquik?
I mean, I'm down to stick with that. I like
Nesquik.
That's what
Squad up, 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 squad up all. This great wall that Donald Trump is building. It was reported yesterday that people are using cordless saws that they purchase in the Home Depot for as little as $100 to make holes in the border wall that Donald Trump is making. Customs and Border Patrol has a big problem with their radio towers on the border. They got huge problem. Vultures are pooping all over them.
What?
Did you call the embassy?
I've called them. He can't do anything.
There's only one person to call to get you out of that, me.
How long does, after the green card through VAWA, can you apply for citizenship?
3 years.
Exactly. Leave that right there. This did not happen. You and I are lucky enough to be here today at Ronnie Sue's Chocolate with the owner herself, Rhonda Cave, and we're gonna go make some chocolate, Yo-Yo.
Anyone in the group has ever been to a country of origin and had the opportunity to taste fresh cocoa from the tree?
I'm from the Dominican Republic. My father actually owns a cacao plantation.
Yes!
Oh, wow. Okay. It's like a meal.
Today we're celebrating Chinese New Year at the China Institute in downtown Manhattan.
I have been in America for 15 years. I came from southern China. It's from Wuhan. I came here because my daughter was young. She got into Juilliard.
Oh, wow.
As a young professional pianist. So I must give up my job and come here to help her.
Happy New Year!
We're here at the NYC Cupid Undie Run. All right, this is gonna raise money for neurofibromatosis, which is also known as NF.
My parents came from Germany and some during the revolution, and my husband's family are from Cuba and Puerto Rico. He's first gen.
So the coronavirus outbreak, the World Health Organization is now currently debating whether to call it a worldwide epidemic.
Hell yeah, do it.
The city of Wuhan is now under lockdown, which means as many as 11 million people are living in uncertainty. It's spreading around the world now, as originally in the Wuhan province. Even hand sanitizer here, so you have to sing happy birthday twice. So here, no, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear boss, Happy birthday to you. We got off of the show last night and we thought everything was okay. There have now at least 127,000 people worldwide infected. Hello, everybody. I do have to say welcome, everybody, to my bedroom. Let's stand up a second. There's the fireplace. There's the ute. There's a painting, and that's where all my clothes are. And I'm back. And now you have taken a tour of Brad's bedroom. She's like, what happened to you? I'm like, this is it. I'm going to do the whole show like this. And I'm only kidding. I was clean shave Uncle Brad when we were in the studio in quarantine. I became Scruffy Brad. Now I am Bear Brad. Just me. There's nobody else here. But we got Yo-Yo and Nesquik. I've had you on ice for 3 months, 1 hour, and 10 minutes. You don't have to have any non-social distancing, unmasked crowd at a convention. Look at that. Look at what was at that convention.
The only smart person in the room. The only smart person in the room.
Groundhog Sam, the only Democrat to appear at the Republican National Convention. So George Floyd's name has been added to the growing list of Black Americans whose deaths have sparked outrage and protest across the nation. George Floyd is just one of many, too many. He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve any of it. He didn't even deserve to get arrested for it. So tell me what you think about how your protest went and your experience was.
Yeah,
It's just
I feel that.
the time we're in right now, and the fact that like we had to change the narrative. We had to dress up like that just to be heard, just to be taken serious, or to show that
To be respected.
like yeah, it was a lot. It was a good feeling though. It was a good feeling.
Thank you all for taking time out of your show to educate and have a dialogue about this, because I think dialogues like this are incredibly important. Be the light, be the love, be the change that you want to see in the world.
My friend and I, we got thirsty and we stopped at a filling station, and I took a picture of him drinking out of the white only water fountain. He took a picture of me.
His photograph of you became the famous one.
Yes.
My American dream is that we build a more perfect union that really centers equity and opportunity so that all people can thrive. I care so much about this country as being an engine for us to see human potential. I hope to play a small role in that journey of making that happen.
You know, Brad, every day I woke up in Somalia, there was not one single day that I ever thought I was going to go back home. I wanted to do everything I could to get to the United States. I won a lottery, the Diversity Visa Lottery, which is a congressionally approved and 15 million people, I think, annually apply to this program with the hope of migrating to the United States. And I was one of a very lucky 120,000 people that were selected in the year 2014. I was very lucky to be able to find a family who said, you're gonna be with us. We have got a room for you. Your room is furnished. You got everything, a closet, bed, and all that.
Now, I understand you and him don't have close relationships between cousins. How did you find out he became the head of ICE?
My mom forwarded me an article that, there were a lot of articles announcing it. My visceral immediate reaction was like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? And a lot of it was because there were many articles, CNN, all the big news agencies, and every single article started with Vietnamese refugee, it's head of ICE now. And I thought, what the heck? Like,
what the heck, right?
I'm delivering a message out there through my platform that I didn't know I have. Now I have a voice. I'm using my voice. You can do this. You can come from refugee camp to America, go through being bullied, go through depression, and make it here.
When Sharon heard the New Orleans chapter of Abuelas Responded needed one more person to travel with them to Brownsville, Texas for volunteer work at the migrant camp just across the border in Matamoros, Mexico, she jumped on the opportunity to help.
And a man came up to me in perfect English and he said, I lived in Ohio for 14 years and these are my children, and they spoke to me in perfect English, and this is my wife. He was picked up for a traffic violation and deported. I know exactly where his town was, and it was really hard. Really, really hard.
My dream is to wake up tomorrow and for racism to be gone, evaporated from the earth. If we just get to know each other, we would realize that there's no difference, that we all bleed the same, we all hurt the same, we all share tears the same.
A lot has happened.
What has happened
since we last had the trio together?
What has happened, pray tell?
I mean,
some
new changes.
A new president. Like some like little changes that happened, baby.
The first,
just minor, Brad.
Just
very
minor stuff.
I was selected for a lottery visa. Will it be delayed due to COVID?
Yes.
9.
We got it. We got it.
I don't know. I think I blew up.
No,
we got it.
The balloons out. There they.
Oh!
Hey! I am David Hasselhoff from Baywatch. The beach is back.
In which country do people greet one another by saying, "How's it?" Both of you guys are wrong. It is from South Africa. That's how they greet each other, saying, "How's it?"
How's it possible?
What country was responsible for the creation of the holiday beverage eggnog, which is my favorite? Ding, ding, ding! Pizza, pizza, Sydney, you get it correct! Woo! Sasha, you don't like eggnog?
Yeah, I do.
I wish everybody just stays healthy, happy, content, and no matter how bad it looks, tomorrow the sun will rise. Have a happy, healthy new year to everybody.
A lot has happened.
What? I want you to know something, guys.
That was so cute.
That was amazing.
I didn't see that. It was the first time I watched it.
That was amazing.
And I want you to know something. We put on a hell of a show.
Yes, I agree.
Congratulations.
That was amazing.
Yeah, we have done a lot.
Yeah,
And I forget sometimes. Well, I mean, you running in your Cupid, that felt like 10 years ago.
Let me tell you,
and I'm like, that was this year? I felt like it was 10 years ago.
Right when that came on, I literally screamed. I jumped out. I was like, oh, what?
like that was like a lifetime ago. That was before COVID. We have Jonathan running around New York City as Cupid in his underwear.
That's what the studio felt like. I was like,
wow.
Oh, is that me in the studio?
That's wild. Wow.
That was
you did a lot.
Good job, team. That was awesome.
Very good job.
Production team killed that.
Yes.
All right, let's do something. Comments of the day. Let's. All right, what did the squad have to say?
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Abiodun Jimo saying, "Happy New Year, squad, and welcome back to the best immigration show ever."
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well.
Okay, the next one from Nana Akua Kiari, and she says, "Happy New Year, Brad. Thank you for what you do for us."
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I love these names.
You love when you do it. I like a hello. Yes, very welcome.
Yes. Okay. All right. Our third comment of the day comes from Amani Mnai saying, "This show is really helpful. Great job, Brad."
Thank you very much. Wow. All accolades. All accolades. I love it. Thank you very much, Amani.
Yuling King says, "Hi, Brad, Yo-Yo, Vanessa, squad up. Happy New Year. So glad you guys are back. Happy to come home after work and have something to look forward to. Brad, you're still the god of immigration in 2021. Amen."
Amen. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, and there was an amen at the end of it?
Amen.
That was yours was amen. Okay. She gave me an amen too, Yulin. Thank you very much.
That's us agreeing.
From you.
Yes. And our last comment of the day for the first show in the new year comes from 29 Super C saying, very nice recap of 2020. I really felt Jonathan hurt on George Floyd's death. And yes, woo, that one was a tough episode.
Right. And you know what? Everything here is authentic. It's live. Even Vanessa coughing. It's all live. It is all. You okay there, Vanessa?
Please don't pass out now.
Yeah, it's okay. We only have about a minute to go, Vanessa. Only 1 minute to go.
I was trying to hang it in.
But yeah, everything here is authentic because we're live. We are who we are.
Yeah.
We can't. I say this all the time. We can't fake it for 2 hours.
Right. Cannot.
It's impossible to fake it for 2 hours every day.
Definitely can't fake it.
Right. You can fake it for one show for 2 hours. You can't fake it every day for 2 hours.
Absolutely not.
So what you see is what you get.
Yes.
This is it.
What I say?
Yeah. I always do this now.
I will always be Jewish New Yorker.
Yes.
All right. So tomorrow is another pandemic quarantine episode. We're only going to be taking calls tomorrow. We're not going to be taking calls tomorrow. We're going to be taking all your questions on social media, Facebook and YouTube. Thursday, God willing, I am sure my COVID test will come back negative. I got to wait on it. God willing, I will be back in studios Thursday to take all of your calls for a regular, non-quarantine Brad Show Live. Till then, we'll see you.